I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
We will be perfect in every aspect of the game. You drop a pass, you run a mile. You miss a blocking assignment, you run a mile. You fumble the football, and I will break my foot off in your John Brown hind parts.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Screw them. This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Ooh-wee! Welcome back to another episode of the Armchair Authority. My name is Ryan, and in the orange shirt across from me, as always, he's mean. He's not green, but he is bald. It's Kelly.
And I'm a dancing machine.
Are you?
What is going on, Ryan?
Whoa! Jeez. Holy cow.
We're going to start like that. We're on episode number 65.
Pull that back a little bit.
You know, one more. Just one more, Ryan, and we're going to be on 66. But today is 65. And what the fuck is going on with you, buddy?
Man.
Huh?
Are you doing this on purpose?
Yeah, I want you to edit a little bit.
Oh, my gosh. At least it's at the beginning of it.
Yeah. Mean, not green, dancing machine. Here I am.
What makes you a dancing machine?
Because I'm a dancing machine.
Are you?
Ask around. Ask
Really?
anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
I'll cut it up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a low impact activity?
It's designed to be low impact, and I probably make it a low impact. Sometimes
Sure.
I get a little carried away.
Yeah.
Danced with my daughter on her 21st birthday. Did a little jitterbug out on the dance floor. Saloon number 10.
Really?
Yeah, we got after it.
Okay.
Pretty good stuff.
All right. Did you
Mean, not green, dancing machine.
There you
That's
go.
the new.
Yeah,
that's the
great.
theme.
Yeah, not green.
Yeah. So
Very
I say
good.
it again.
Yeah.
What is going on, buddy? Oh, that's great. I know you're going
Yeah.
to clean that up.
That's great.
Sure hope the editing software works for
I
you.
know, right? Holy cow.
Hey, no, really. How are you?
I'm good.
Can you believe it? 65 episodes.
65. Yeah.
65.
And counting. Hopefully.
Amazing.
Yeah, we'll see after this one, I guess. But
So many thought we weren't going to make it. So many. Hey, I got to give a quick shout out before we get back into you. I got to give a huge shout out.
don't get into me. That would be weird.
So Cohort Brewing
Uh-huh.
in Rapid City has now purchased what was formerly known as Miners
Correct.
up by Hill City, right?
Yep.
We go out there to meet some friends, be out there with some family, have a couple drinks, have a good time. And in walk these two people with black Armchair Authority t-shirts on. Matching t-shirts. Dennis and Meredith. Huge shout out to Dennis
No
and
kidding.
Meredith. Yep, coming in, matching Armchair Authority t-shirts.
There you go.
Man, they look good.
Yeah.
It caught me a little off guard. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, there we are.
Yeah.
Like we've arrived.
Yeah. Nice. Were they there to meet you for the birthday?
They were.
Okay.
No birthday.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out. Okay.
Yeah, just hanging
Nice.
out. But yeah, they came in with their matching black t-shirts, big white logo on them, Armchair Authority.
I was really
They were
hoping-
proud to wear them. I was proud of them for wearing them. It was good stuff. Shout
Well,
out to them.
That's a great story, and thank you guys for supporting the merch. I was kind of hoping it was just like a happenstance run in, like maybe they had just decided to wear them that day and then ran into you. But you know what? They knew they were coming to see you. They wanted to support you, and that's even better.
No,
So,
and Meredith said, I've had these shirts for 2 weeks, and I've been looking for the right time to wear them. So when my wife called her and says, hey, you want to meet up at Cohorts, have a couple drinks?
Yeah.
Meredith's like, woohoo!
Yeah.
I guess she got a hold of her husband, Dennis,
Yeah.
at some point and said, hey, we're wearing matching shirts. And Dennis is like, okay, whatever.
All right, cool. Very good.
Yep, Dennis Emeritus, Sporting the Armchair Authority. Thank you.
That's awesome.
So much. It was great.
That's great. That is great. They looked good. They were.
Oh, they look
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
They look. She got the ladies fit.
Yep.
Obviously, Dennis got the men's fit.
Yeah.
Looked good. I mean, it was
Great.
It was solid.
That's awesome. Super.
She liked the quality. She
Yeah.
seemed to like the quality of the
Good.
shirts and
Yeah.
all that. So it was super good.
That's awesome.
Mother-in-law started looking at the shirts because I sent them the link. So
Ah,
we're
yeah.
all sitting around a table,
Yeah,
right? And we're having a
right, yeah.
conversation. We talk about
Yeah.
the shirts. Anyway, where can we find them?
Yeah.
I start sending out links, and we got some people looking. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Very good. I appreciate that. If you want your own Armchair Authority T-shirt, link is in the description, so you can go over to tpublic.com, hit that link. It'll send you over there. You can get it with either the white or the black lettering right now in our new logo. Yeah, and I can't remember what you scratch yourself delightful, as Kelly once said over there.
I didn't say that.
You sure did.
I don't believe I did.
Yeah, you sure did. But yeah, we definitely appreciate the support, and we will take it any way that we can get it. Hope you like the shirts. Hope they fit well. Hope you like the logo, all that stuff. We'll be working on some other stuff as well for those of you with weird quote unquote nipples. But we'll get that figured out for those people.
That was weird.
We're trying to be accommodating for all nipple shapes and sizes. Just tell me the coin, and I'll get you taken care of.
I think you nailed it. I have received from some feedback. I don't think some of these folks who have kind of gotten back to me, I don't think they've actually ordered shirts yet, but they are looking forward to the sayings on the back. So then I, again, reiterate, hey, give us some sayings, man. Reach out. Let us know in some comments, emails, whatever it is. Let us know what you want on the back of the shirt. But no, they look good.
Yeah,
they look good.
Speaking of one of the designs, and TeePublic's been kind of weird because they haven't approved the other one that I was putting up there for the not particularly fond of cattle version of it. Like it's just been stuck in purgatory, so I don't quite know what's going on. So I'll have to figure that out. But speaking of that saying, Kelly, today, July 8th, is National Cow Appreciation Day.
And I appreciate them. I'm not particularly fond of them, but I do appreciate them.
Yeah, the second
I'm going to
Tuesday-
appreciate them at 6 o'clock tonight when I'm enjoying a little bit of them
There you
on
go.
the Blackstone.
Yeah, the second Tuesday of July is Cow Appreciation Day. It's been going on since 1995. So Cow Appreciation Day says this: Have you heard? Spelled HERD. Things go utterly awry in the middle of July each year during Cow Appreciation Day. People dress like bovines for free food. It's a moving experience to witness, designed to save the lives of cows everywhere for just one day. How? By eating chicken instead.
I'm not following that. I'm sorry, I'm not following
You
that.
appreciate them in your own way.
I do appreciate them. Is this where we're this is good content. This is where we're going today.
I just thought it was appropriate considering, talking about t-shirts, we're talking about cattle, things like that. It's Cow Appreciation Day.
Yeah.
I always find it funny. There's a holiday for everything. And today's holidays consist of, I was just looking at this, so let me get it pulled up again.
It's Prime Day today, right?
It is Prime Day today. They don't need any more advertising than they've already got. So, yeah. Why is it going off of that?
I'm still a little mad at them anyway.
Why is that?
I ordered something from Prime, and we've got the new facility out here in Box Elder now. So one would think that we would get it a lot faster. Well, I can tell you that they attempted delivery in the evening to my place of work. Mm-hmm. Well, that doesn't work. It's a business. It closes at 5 o'clock, and they did it 2 consecutive days where they tried to deliver after business hours. And I put instructions in there about, hey, they're open 8 to 5, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up on day 3 or day 4, I ended up running down the driver in the parking lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think he was taken aback
Aggressive.
a little bit, like, holy smokes, what do you got there? I mean, it wasn't like I had a package of cocaine waiting for me or anything, but yeah, I had to run down the driver. I was pissed.
Nice.
I'm like, come on. I gave you instructions. You know it's a business. It closes at 5 o'clock. What are you doing? I'll get over it.
Okay. Well, if you don't want to celebrate cattle, you can celebrate today being Be a Kid Again Day. It's also National Blueberry Day, National Chocolate with Almonds Day, National Ice Cream Sundae Day, and National Video Game Day. And if you don't like any of those, you can just celebrate it by the simple fact that it's also Kevin Bacon's birthday.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kevin Bacon, big movie star, been on a lot of things. Apparently, there's only 7 degrees of separation between anybody and Kevin Bacon. You heard that story?
No.
Yeah. So apparently there's this running joke that there's, the degrees of separation between people.
Sure.
So like if you know somebody and I know them through you, then that would be like 1 degree of separation.
Sure.
So apparently you can, for anyone, you can get to Kevin Bacon by knowing 7 different people or something.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think there was even a show on it or something like that. But, yeah, apparently he's a very well-known man, obviously, being a movie star. But
Interesting.
yeah. Anyway.
I could go to 7 and I wouldn't know him.
I don't know. I bet there's somebody out there that knows him through somebody you know, through somebody you know, through somebody you know.
Think so, huh?
Yeah.
7 links.
Yeah. It's like
to Kevin Bacon.
It's like a pyramid scheme. Yeah.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
Seems like great content. What are we doing?
Yeah. We're going to go over just a myriad of things today. We'll talk a little bit about what happened over the 4th. I've got a kind of a dad experience I want to share today. We're going to talk about maybe the most dominant athlete in all of sports. And we'll reveal who that is here in a little bit.
Wow.
We'll also talk about Jason Kelce and how social media works and how stupid it can be at times.
Yeah, I got a couple other social media related things. I think we also need to talk about USA soccer. And I know we said we weren't going to talk about soccer and we weren't going to spend any time, but we have previous.
That will be a Kelly only segment. So.
I need a little cue. No, it won't. No, it won't, because I'm going to present it in such a way that I know that you're going to have an opinion on the matter. But we're going to talk about USA soccer amid their loss to Mexico in the Gold Cup final.
All right, cool. We'll do a little AFC South ranking as far as where we think the records are going to go and who's going to win the division, and then we'll check in with the Colorado Rockies and see where they are as we approach All-Star break. We were taking bets on whether or not they would be actually mathematically eliminated from playoff contention by the All-Star break. I think that they're going to survive. I think they've won enough games to the point that they're going to survive, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
It's actually insulting that you have to approach it that way. Just like that. I think they're going to make it to the All-Star break.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But anyway, it was just we just celebrated the 4th of July, America's birthday, number 249. Some people thought we'd never get to 65 episodes. Other people have been rooting against America getting to 249 birthdays, but here we are. Kelly, the 4th of July, we talked about barbecues and a little bit towards the end of last episode. It sounds like you celebrated with a birthday over the weekend, as far as that's concerned. But anything going on for you for the 4th of July? Was there anything that's like anything you recognized? Anything that you were like, oh man, this is my 40-somethingth 4th, and this is getting old, or this is something that I'm going to try differently this year?
Well, for clarification purposes, the birthday was actually around May 14th. That wasn't recent. When we went dancing, it was around mid-May.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, it was around mid-May, the birthday thing.
Okay.
I just lumped it all together because you talked about mean, not green, and dancing. So my last dancing episode was middle of May. That was my daughter's 21st birthday. I mean, that's when that was. Okay. We haven't had another birthday. So
Thanks
just
for the clarification on that one there, Grandpa.
Roger that. July 4th. Oh, did I forget to tell you? Anyway, July 4th. What the hell was your question?
I don't even know anymore. What the hell was that?
I just wanted clarification. You said apparently you celebrated a birthday. No, we didn't celebrate a birthday. When we went out.
Comment below if you thought, if any sort of context that he gave towards the beginning of the show had any, like if you thought that happened in May. Because there's no way you're like, yeah, we went down to the bump in Buffalo and did the whole thing and blah, blah, blah.
You heard that all wrong. Number one, we were at Saloon number 10. Number two, it was in mid-May, and I don't believe I needed to give it a reference, but you said, and I think I even had to clarify. You know what? Yeah, here, go to the comments below. I think I had to clarify for you that when we went to the Cohort Brewing, it wasn't for a birthday. It was just hanging out with friends.
Okay.
And family.
All right.
Yeah.
It all felt.
It's because you don't listen. It's because you don't listen.
Together.
You don't listen. This is why you listen to the podcast after the fact. All of a sudden, It's like, oh, now I see what he was saying.
Yeah.
Ha, ha, ha. That was funny. Ha, ha.
Anyway, so you didn't celebrate a birthday this weekend.
We did
not.
not.
I mean, maybe you did if you celebrated America's birthday, I guess. But
yeah, we celebrated.
Yeah.
We celebrated. My father-in-law does this party, 4th of July party, out at his house.
And this happened this weekend, right? Not like May or like...
It was on the 4th.
Okay.
It was actually on the 4th.
Of July?
Correct.
2025.
So it was Friday. Is Friday the weekend?
Well, now some would say yes, others would say no.
Okay, see, so
I've been in this argument before with a guy years ago at Applebee's. Okay, because they
Applebee's,
right. You know it's the Waffle House of the Midwest, as some call it. But it was like they always did the wing thing on the weekends. It was like half price wings on the weekends.
Yeah.
And they didn't honor it on Fridays, and I'm like, well, Friday is the weekend. Like you're going in like.
But you're
5 o'clock on Friday. It's the weekend.
You're entering the weekend.
So
you're entering the weekend.
I could also make the argument that it's not actually the weekend would be Saturday, Sunday because it is the week's end.
Correct. 12:01
But you could
a.m.
also make the argument that 5 o'clock on a Friday would be the end, like the literal end of the week, not the it's end.
Right.
It's ending.
Some people just don't do anything from noon on Friday
That's
when
true.
they work. So, I mean,
Yeah,
it is
that's
their
true,
weekend.
yeah.
That's how they view it. But, I mean, 12:01 a.m.
Flex schedules
truly
and
is the
whatnot.
weekend. Yeah. The flex schedule. The flex schedule.
Yeah. I hear those are going away at some point.
I have no idea. I don't know. I do me. I don't know.
That's been the rumor.
I've never been a real rule
for close
follower.
to 5 years now. But
Yeah. So my father-in-law does this thing. Spit it out all over. I dare you. So my father-in-law does a party for
Phrasing.
the 4th of July. Oh. Anyway, it's a good little event. He brings in the neighbors. Good little environment. Play some cornhole, play some games, do that type of thing. A lot of food.
Big cornhole
It's a
family,
fun
you
little
guys
thing.
are.
Yeah, it's a fun little thing.
are you good at cornhole, or do you guys just play cornhole?
Well, I'll tell you, my skills are declining. I
Like
was
if
the
we went out in the
champ.
back right now, do you think you could beat me?
I could, yeah, I'd clean the floor with you.
Really?
Yep, it wouldn't be close.
You don't even know.
I do know it wouldn't be within 10. It wouldn't be. In fact, I'd probably have to reset to 11 because I'd go over 21 multiple times and I'd still kick your ass. But my skills are
You're
declining.
a cocky little shit, aren't you?
I'm a
you
cocky.
don't even know. You don't even know.
I'm a mean, not green cornhole machine.
All right.
I'd clean you up. We'll test it out.
Do you not know what I do? Like, I don't know, 4 to 5 times a week.
Other than throw your golf clubs up in the trees and
That was
And-
one weekend.
trim out your basement,
4 years
do
ago.
a little painting,
Yeah.
take care of your kids. I mean, what? There's cornhole in there too. Oh, are you in a cornhole league? You're probably in a cornhole league, right?
I
You're
guess
too
we'll never
young
know.
for that.
I guess
You're
we'll
too
never
young
know.
for that. You're too young for the cornhole league. Goodness gracious! You probably put the boards 10 feet apart too,
Yeah.
and you put sandpaper on them so
Yeah,
bags
so it
don't
sticks.
slide.
Yeah.
You're one of those guys.
Yeah.
Do you count hangers?
Hangers?
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, you got your woodies. You know, those are the ones that just sit right on there.
yeah.
Your hangers, you got to lift up the board to make sure it's not going to fall off. So,
No. So
or are you talking about in the hole?
yeah, my brother.
No, if it's hanging in the hole, that's still 1 point.
I
That's not
understand
3.
this. I understand this. But my brother-in-law, so obviously 3 in the hole, 1 in the board.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law wanted to incorporate a hanger where if it was hanging
2?
below, yeah.
No,
If
straight
it was
to jail.
hanging
Straight
below.
to jail. You get it in the hole, or it doesn't count.
So we had to make it
Just
real,
like high school.
Yeah, we had to make we had to make it real clear that hangers were not going to be allowed this year. It's either 3 or 1.
Yeah.
Right. And okay, here's another one. Here's another one that came up. I didn't necessarily get in an argument because I wasn't going to be overly competitive, but somebody whips one ground up onto the board.
No.
I understand that, and I saw it, and we needed instant replay.
Yeah.
We needed a replay booth. We needed a headset. We needed to go to New York. We needed to figure this out. But
That rule is for
the bag hit the ground and then bloop, bloop, up onto the board. I initially said, no point. Gentleman who was standing on the side with me, who I was playing against, was like, it's on the board. I'm like, it is on the board, but it went off the ground first.
Right.
No, it didn't go off the ground. So we had that little thing.
Is
We
he a
needed some
Cowboys
instant
fan?
replay.
Did you think Dez caught it too?
I'm not entirely sure. Not entirely sure. We didn't get that
rule,
far.
in my opinion, is only for young children and elderly grandparents that can't consistently get it to the board.
Well, see, with the young children, move them up.
You can do that.
Move
too.
them up
Yeah.
5 feet, 10 feet, whatever's required.
Yeah.
But yeah, this baby went off the ground. It didn't matter. It didn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But my skills are declining. My sister-in-law and I were champs last year.
Sure.
I mean, we got our picture taken. We're on the Wall of Fame. Got all that good stuff. This year, she was still firing pretty hot. I was not playing well
Yeah.
at all.
That's too bad.
At all. So it is what it is.
Do you get a little spin on the bag, or you just kind of throw flat?
Nope. I actually crunch and launch.
Crunch and launch.
Crunch and launch.
right.
Yep. If I do the spin, it just spins itself right off the freaking
Yeah,
board, man. It's
yeah.
slippery, slidey. See, that's the other. That's
You
the
gotta
other.
get those dual-sided bags.
Well, that's the fun stuff about playing out there is he's got 2 different sets of boards.
Yeah.
So he's got some that are not angled as steeply and don't slide as much. And then he's got others that, I mean, they shoot off there like silicone, man. It's like, phew, they're gone. So you have to, if you get, depending on what board you play on, you have to adjust your game, which is why I found it easier just do the crunch and launch.
Okay.
Like just squish that shit up and let her fly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah.
Like I don't spin a bowling ball. I don't spin a cornhole bag. I don't. No, I'm simple. Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss is the theme.
Kiss.
Anyway, that's what we did for the 4th.
Nice.
In a long roundabout segment. That's what I did right there.
All right, very good. Well, we were out here in the war zone. For those of you that are not affiliated with where we live, the eastern side of Rapid City, South Dakota, has there's basically 0 ordinance against what you can launch out here. So we just recently moved over here last September, and so this is our first 4th of July actually living in eastern, or as we call it, the valley of Rapid City. Holy cow.
Were you diving under tables?
Holy cow. So
a few M80s going off.
We had some personal stuff go on with the family over the course of the 4th. We didn't celebrate too long. We went over to the in-laws for a meal. We were over there for maybe 2 hours, and I think we were home by 6:30.
Wow.
Type of thing. So hung out with the kids for a little bit, and then I have 2 young kids, so they both go down early. So I think my son fell asleep by 8:30. So the sun was still kind of peeking over the horizon there before it went down. And so I was like, I'll just go out on the back deck and kind of check out how things are going around 9:30. Dude, I have never been to war, nor do I want to. But that's about as close as I think I've ever gotten. I'm looking over to the left, and there's just missiles flying off in the distance, one after another. They're popping off every 1 to 2 seconds. My neighbor directly behind me and then to the corner is launching off mortars that are blowing up over the top of my house. Absolutely insane. Thank the Lord for noise machines, because that's what kept both my kids down the whole night. So it was just, there was a faint pop that was happening.
Yeah.
But, and my dog is well adjusted, so that's fine. So nothing in the house was getting too crazy. But if you stepped outside, it was pretty nutty. But respect to the neighborhood. I thought this was going to go on for a lot longer than it did, but it started to die down around 11:30-ish. So I went down to the basement, started watching The Accountant 2. Not bad. It was okay. But yeah, by the time the movie was done and I went to bed, I think we had heard some pops go off about once every 10 minutes, not every 2 seconds. So respect to the neighborhood. The next night, the weather was really bad, so we didn't get a ton. But for some reason, July 6th or something like that, they started popping off again because the weather was nice. So, but I think we're past it now. That's all over and done with. But pretty tame 4th of July. We really didn't do much. I made smash burgers on the Blackstone. And yeah, kids were in bed by 8 o'clock, and then the war began, and then it was over.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah. Stolen valor. But I do have a story, and one that happened just yesterday. This will be the dad moment of the week, right? And I've already talked to a few of you about this, but figured I'd little verbal therapy every once in a while isn't bad for the soul.
Ooh, am I playing counselor?
Ooh, you could. I mean,
Okay.
your experience. You have 3.
I'm
kids,
kind of abrasive.
One that just turned 21 4 months ago. So,
May.
well, yeah, July, June, 3 months.
It's hard to go backwards,
yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
all good. But anyway, my son started his first day at the new daycare, which is like a facility daycare, though it's not an in-home daycare. So it's a large operation type of thing. So they're always open, which is nice for us. But on the flip side of it, it is one of those things where he's been home. He was home with me all of May, and my wife's been off of work for the summer since June. So he hasn't actually been in a daycare setting since the middle of April, and that was with our really good friend Shelby, who I've known since I was 10. So when we first dropped him off there, it was I didn't even think twice about it. Here you go, you're going to be fine. We'll pick you up at 4. It'll all be good. So I've had these reservations about this for whatever reason for a long period of time, because I'm going to take my son to this daycare facility, and I'm going to drop him off, and we're going to leave him there all day, and I don't know anybody there. I don't know I know these people by name only because I met them the other day, but I don't know anyone at all. They're all strangers to me. And so I've been having a little bit of a difficult time processing that portion of it, as my son is then screaming as we're walking away. You know, like he doesn't do well with drop-offs. He doesn't do well with like people leaving in general. He tends to kind of like throw a fit and he'll cry and he just wants you to stay type of thing. And so that's what happened yesterday.
Yes.
We walked him out to the playground. He was like, all right, this is cool. And then we looked at the teacher and we're like, we're going to like sneak away now and hopefully he'll play and forget about it. Well, we got like 20 steps away from the fence and
here he comes.
He turned around and we didn't look back. It was the whole thing where we just heard him go, "Wah!" Like he just starts wailing because he sees mom and dad walking away.
It's harder on the parents than it is the kids.
Oh, man. So my wife and I stop at the car. We have a little bit of a, heart-to-heart about it. Like, he's going to be fine. Like, things are going to be great. It's whatever. It's just a day. It is what it is. So, of course, curiosity gets the better of me, and I'm like, well, there's a road that kind of, like, goes near the playground.
No.
So
Mistake number one.
So I take the road, and I look over, and he's sitting on the bench staring out at the parking lot, like, looking for mom and dad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh. So anyway, I get home, and, you go through the emotions, and you do all that stuff, and it's just weird, man. Like, as I told a couple people yesterday, somebody once said that your children they're your heart living outside your body.
Mm-hmm.
And so you want to protect them and you want to keep them safe and do all these things. But at the same time, like, you think of all the people that have impacted your life that weren't in your house, that weren't your mom and your dad or your grandparents or whoever.
Oh, yeah.
Your coaches, your teachers, coworkers, all these people that have had an impact on you to make Kelly who he is or to make Ryan who he is that weren't like a part of your immediate family, and how influential they were and how they all started out as strangers. Like, as a parent, you have to allow your kids to experience those things. And I'm going through that right now where it's like, I can't be his everything. Jenna can't be his everything. Like,
no,
it takes a village of people you haven't even met yet. And it's things like that where I have that internal battle of like, I just want to protect my kid and make sure he's safe. But he's going to have to live in the world at some time. He's going to get his heart broken. He's going to get hurt. Things are going to happen. They're going to turn him into the person that he needs to be. But you're right, as a parent, like, as cliche as it is, hearing that from my parents as I grew up, like, this is going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you. And it's like, no, it's not. You're the one you got the spatula in your hand, type of thing. And
if you were fast, you could make it up the steps before your brother.
Yeah.
So he's the one that got thwacked on the heel.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, yesterday was a big growing moment, not only for him, but for me as well. Just like allowing him to, he's going to be 2 in a month. And I understand that like he's got a lot more growing to do. But it was a big first step for both of us in this, like, all right, you're getting older and you're growing up, whether I like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And these are things that are good for you. And I have to be okay with it. And it's not going to get any easier because I know that.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not, because then, like, in my mind, things are going to get even more difficult from a standpoint. And you're going through this as well. Like, your oldest daughter's going to meet somebody.
Oh, you're okay. Okay, sorry.
And she's going to make decisions that you don't agree with, but you have to trust that she's doing the things that she's
right. When you said that it wasn't going to get easier, I thought you were. I was looking in a box in terms of
like
him in daycare.
Yeah.
It will get
you're right
significantly easier.
That you're right
because
about.
when did this happen? Yesterday?
Oh yeah, this was just yesterday.
Did he want to go today?
I don't think he knew what was going on.
But he was okay with it.
Yeah, I haven't talked.
Better than yesterday.
Jenna dropped him off. I'll have to talk and get an update about that later.
Either way, by day 3, by day 4, he's like, yeah, get me the hell out of this house. I'm going back to my friends. We're going to go party. We're going to throw rocks at shit. We're going to chase birds and bunnies.
Yeah. But no, I was referencing it in the fact of like, as the kids get older and as you get older, you release more and more of that control because you're just going to have to allow them to make decisions on their own that you hope that they do correctly, that you've taught them well enough where you're like,
yeah, there's a lot of hold your breath moments.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know if I've used this analogy before, but we took him over to a park, and you climb up to the top, and there's 6 ways to get down. 3 of them are slides, and 3 of them are 6-foot drops to the ground.
Yep. And he took the jump.
And I'm on the floor, and I can only get to so many, if he's going to take one of the bad exits, right? So I have to trust that he's going to make the right decision every single time, that he's going to make the right exit. And luckily he did, because he enjoys the slides. But it's the same thing in life. Your kids are going to be given options where it's 3 of them have good, positive outcomes and 3 of them have negative outcomes. And you hope that you've taught them well enough to choose one of the 3 that's going to be positive. But if they do take the negative one and take the 6-foot drop and, break a leg or whatever, hopefully they're smart enough to learn from that.
Here's where this comes in, right? This is where associates come in because right now he's taking the slide because he loves the slide, right?
Right,
And he's like,
yeah.
"Ooh, big drop versus slide. Love
Yeah.
the slide. I'm going to take the slide." Until little Joe Bag of Donuts is there saying, "Hey, you pants wetter. I bet you won't jump. I dare you to jump. I dare you to jump. Let's see how far out you can jump."
Yeah.
That's when you start holding your breath because as they get older and they get around these associations and people doing that type of thing, especially a boy,
Yeah.
we got a little ego, we got a little macho, we got a little, you know what, I'll show you what's up. I'm going to jump clean over this thing. And that's the hard part when they get older. And you're right, when you have to trust that they're going to make the right decision every single time. Yeah. They're not going to make the right
But who's
decision
gonna
every single
influence
time.
those others?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where's the influence coming from and how long is it there? And that's difficult stuff.
And I agree with that. I was lucky enough to still do have amazing friends. But again, you talk about cliches, but it's so true. Like the show me your friends, they'll show you your future type of thing. Who are they? What decisions are they making? And how are they influencing the decisions that you're going to make? There's a lot to that, man. Because by the time they reach about 13, the influence that their friends, at least from my experience, that their friends have on them until they're in their 20s is way more than the parents do. Because they're at school with them all the time. They're hanging out with them all the time. I mean, I remember in high school, I hung out with my friends, I don't know, 80% of the time. And then the other 20% was spent at home with my family.
Yeah.
So like all of that influence comes from like what we're talking about as a group and friends and all those things. So
here's where I'm at.
yeah.
This is how it's going to change for you, okay? And your oldest is a boy and your youngest is a girl.
Yeah.
I'm reversed, a little bit. I've got the third one, but I've got girl oldest, and then obviously my son and then my youngest daughter. This is where I'm currently at. My 21-year-old, when we say, "Jocelyn, not a good idea. Think about this. You shouldn't do this."
Yeah.
She's at a point where she's like, "Yep, you're right." My son will be, I'll figure it out.
Right.
And my youngest one, tell her not to do something, and she looks at you, "You're dumb." So I go from,
So you get all levels.
"Yep, we got you're right," to, "I'll figure it out," to, "You're just dumb.
Yeah.
You don't know any better." That's the transition that you're going to work towards.
Sure.
And boys, I'm telling you, there's something, and I don't think it's just mine. It's got to be a plethora of boys across the country, in the world. Boys, for some reason, you can tell them. You could show them pictures. You could show them videos. You could show them your own scars. You could show whatever. And you could say, this is a bad idea and this is why. For whatever reason, boys have to learn the hard way. I don't know if they just think, it's not going to. And I've tried to reflect on this. Did I approach life like this? Did I do this type of thing? And in some regard, I think I probably did. But boys are like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. We'll see. And they have to learn the lesson the hard way. Like, hey, that's going to fall on your head. Bonk, falls on their head. Now they learn.
Yeah.
But you could show them everything. You could tell them everything. You can talk until you're blue in the face. And they just don't get it until they live it.
Yeah.
And girls are not like that, at least mine.
Yeah.
I have not found that with the girls.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, everybody's programmed differently, but I mean, my son has no sense of fear right now.
except Aspen.
Yeah.
You're dumb. Aspen.
You're dumb.
This is what's going to happen when you do this.
Yeah.
You don't know. You're dumb.
Yeah.
And that's Aspen.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of truth to it. I mean, my son, like you said, he's got no sense of fear right now. So like, he'll just stand up on the ottoman if I'm laying on the ground. He'll just jump. He'll jump from the ottoman. Just in the dad will catch me.
Yeah, because it's fun.
Dad's paying attention. He'll catch me.
Yeah.
Type, and I'm like, okay, buddy, great, super. But then I reflect on my own life and like the amount of conversations I've had with people where, what was your biggest teacher? What'd you learn? It was like, well, failure. Most of the things that I succeeded at later was because I failed at them earlier because I learned how not to do it.
Yeah.
I went to college the first time and failed miserably. And then took a couple of years off and then went back and succeeded pretty well, I would say. So, I mean, it's like, that's just one example in my own life of like what failure taught me, what was valuable to me and what wasn't, and what I did the first time versus what I did the second time, and just the different mindset that you have. Nobody taught me how to be better at school.
Right.
It was that experience of like, and then also the drive of wanting it myself.
Well, tell me if you experienced this. Okay? You've got your group of boys, and we've all got BMX bikes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Out comes the cinder block from Dad's garage. Out comes a long plank of wood.
Yeah.
And we are making ourselves a ramp.
Yeah.
How many kids ate shit because the board broke, or they rode off the side, or something, or they just went clean over the handlebars after they released from said cinder block? Yeah. How many kids ate shit?
Yeah. Oh,
How many kids continue to get on BMX bikes, back up 20 feet, and bring it again after they've watched kids eat shit? Yeah. I mean, kids are missing skin off their nose and their
because they
forehead.
want to be the ones that
I'm going to make it.
Yeah. And you're the hero. And then
you're an idiot. Yeah. I'm going to make it. I'm going to show you how to do this jump.
We weren't the BMX kids with the ramp. We were the kids pushing the trampoline next to the shed.
Oh, yeah. See, you're more uptown. You're significantly younger.
We were jumping off the shed onto the trampoline.
Yeah.
And then by the time somebody jumped a little bit too high, missed the trampoline, and one leg went through the spring, and so now you're dangling from the trampoline by your leg that's, through the spring gap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it was a little bit different, but it didn't stop us from continuing to do it.
Yeah, here's what my older brother did to me. So we get this huge snowstorm, right? And he starts piling up all this snow. Well, now out comes the ladder. Up onto the garage we go.
Yeah.
Mom and Dad are at work. This is totally safe.
Right.
Neighbors are probably seeing it. Didn't have cell phones then, so they couldn't call my parents. They couldn't get there in time to rescue.
Right.
Right? Brother starts piling up all this snow. Me, not thinking, what is under said snow? He is piling snow over the corner fence post.
Oh, no.
So me up on the garage.
On purpose?
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely. 100%. I wasn't thinking there's a fence post under there, and it's a big thing. It's a big 4x4.
That's diabolical.
You're right, and it was clever as hell. So he's piling up all this snow, and he's like, oh, don't worry, the snow will catch you. And I'm up on the peak of a garage, and I decide I'm going to launch, right? And I let her fly, and I made it. I cleared all the concrete underneath, and I made it to the pile of snow, only to eat that freaking fence post clean into my ass. Like, clean into my ass. And it was, I was excited and nearly dying at the same exact time. One, I was super excited because I made the jump. Two, I've never experienced a pain like that in my life. Not ever. You could have amputated my freaking arm, and it would not have hurt worse than landing on the fence post. Yeah, man. And he knew exactly what he was doing. And he had a friend standing there, and they were laughing their ass off. And I knew when I launched, I can remember when I launched off the peak of the garage, I remember him and the buddy going, oh, like they knew what was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I took her. It was a shot. But yeah.
Oh, man. I'm so glad that didn't, well, maybe it did cause more damage than you knew about, but.
No, I'm telling you. Again.
Oh, dude. Too funny.
More do, less think.
Yeah. Speaking of more doing, Joey Jaws Chestnut.
Amazing. Amazing. I just talked about this with somebody yesterday. I want to know 70 1/2 hot dogs. Joey Chestnut. Hot dog eating champion 2025. 70 and a half.
70 and a half. And that's not even his record, but let's back it up a little bit. So Joey wasn't in this competition last year, mostly because I believe there was something going on with a sponsorship that he took with like a vegan hot dog thing. Nathan's kicked him out, whatever. They didn't have him in it. Things happened, and now he's back.
Right.
He's won this thing 16 times.
Oh, he's a legend.
The guy last year, this Patrick Bertoli, however you pronounce that last name, he won it on 58 hot dogs.
Yeah.
Joey takes a year off.
Trains.
Comes back. Says, I see you're 58, and I'll hit you with 70 and a half.
Yeah. So here's what people don't understand, Ryan. What people don't understand is oftentimes, if you haven't watched the hot dog eating contest, which I'm telling you, it's a ton of fun to watch. If you haven't watched it, they start dipping it in water.
Oh, yeah.
Right? They start dipping the buns in water so you're not choking and gagging on bread and doing all that stuff, and it slides down. But not only do you have 70.5 hot dogs in your gut, you got all the buns, and you got a shit ton of water.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing.
I don't even understand.
So here's the last 5 seconds. The leaderboard goes as such. You have 41, 43, 44, and Bertoli, last year's winner, at 45. With 1 second left, he downs another hot dog and a half to give him 70. Last year's winner had 45.
Yeah.
Which, by my math, is 13 less than what he had the year prior. Joey comes in after not competing in this competition for 2 years and downs 70 and a half.
Yeah. If you go ahead and you line up 70 and a half hot dogs, just line them up on a table.
Yeah.
Stack them, stand them up on end. I don't give a damn what you do with them. Take 70.5 hot dogs and lay them out on a table. You tell me how that fits in your stomach with a bun with a shit ton of water.
Dude.
That's amazing.
I mean,
it almost makes you gag.
Well,
Just
it does.
thinking
I mean,
about
if you've
the whole
ever
thing.
watched all of the festivities of the 4th of July eating competitions, because they do a lemonade chug before that, and then they do the hot dog eating contest. They do a couple of other things. There was a guy spewing his guts out at the lemonade thing, which was hilarious. But I mean, and it's not a pretty thing to see. These wet, nasty hot dogs getting just shoved down people's throats, and they're eating them 2 at a time, and they're chomping them down, and all this other stuff. But I mean, there's an argument to be made here that he's the most dominant athlete of all time, right?
Yes.
If you consider what he's doing athletic, which I think you can, depending on how you view competitive eating, because it is an endurance thing. You have to be able to do it not only quickly, but you have to consume large amounts of food and hope that your body doesn't explode out of one hole or the other.
Oof.
But, I mean, he's won this thing 16 different times, but he hasn't just won it. He's annihilated the competition every single time.
Right.
Which is why I point out the
He's
fact
toying
that,
with them.
Yeah, which is why I point out the fact that he was at 70, and the next closest person to him had 45.
Right. He hits 50, burps, farts, and hammers down
Right.
another 20.
Right. And basically just a consolation prize for the guy last year because Joey didn't compete, where it's like, all right, well, the champ's gone. I guess, congratulations. You can say you won the 2020. You didn't, and that's where this thing gets murky. Like, he takes a year off. He comes back. He's still dominant. 2024, I guess you can brag about winning it, but you really won by default because Joey wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. There's an asterisk there.
Yay for you, I guess.
Right.
It would be one thing had he retired, but he just wasn't there. He's still in the It's a weird concept for me to I still view Joey as the winner of 24. He just didn't compete.
Right. Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. When he can come back and knock down 70 and a half.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When you come back and just assert your dominance in that way, it's crazy. But here's some other crazy things.
Here's the key fact, and maybe you're going to cover this. Key fact: one setting, 21,000 calories.
Yeah, there you go.
That's holy shit.
So he holds over 50 world records for competitive eating. 50, and here's just a couple to name a few. The most hot dogs he's ever eaten in a sitting at this competition was 76. So he was still 5.5 short of his record.
He's off his game.
Right? He holds the record for most shrimp cocktail eaten at 21 pounds. He has he's eaten 6.5 2-foot pizza slices, or 6.5 2-foot pizza slices, 81 Eggo waffles, 62 pulled pork sliders, 165 pierogies, 25.5 ice cream sandwiches. He also holds the record for most hard-boiled eggs eaten at 141.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine going into this competition 160 and coming out 180?
Holy cow. Dude, the amount of cholesterol.
Oh, my Lanta.
17.5 pounds of cherry pie. And
why not?
He also owns the world record for most bologna slices eaten. How many pounds?
A bologna?
A bologna for the record.
32.
15 3/4.
15
pounds
of bologna.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my Lanta.
Absolutely insane.
Is he really an athlete though? Do you consider that an athlete?
You have to train. You have to have endurance. You have to be able to. And
you're going to make this argument.
I can. I think you can because if you were a betting man, $100.
$100.
$100.
Go.
10 hot dogs. Run 200 meters. Okay.
Yep.
So you have to eat.
Can't do either.
Yeah. You have to eat 10 hot dogs and then run 200 meters, and whoever does that first wins. Joey Chestnut versus Usain Bolt. Who are you putting $100 on?
Yeah, I'll put it on Joey. Sure.
Yeah.
I think running 200 meters, I think that's going to how you define running. I don't think he's moving. If he's eating 10 hot dogs and then he takes off, I don't think he's running.
That's how it works. You eat 10 hot dogs and then you sprint 200 meters to the finish line.
Man, I don't know.
Are you taking Usain Bolt to eat 10 hot dogs and finish the 200 meters first, or are you taking Joey Chestnut to eat 10 hot dogs and finish the 200 meters first?
Well, yeah. I'll go with Joey.
It's Joey all the way.
Just simply because of the eating, yeah.
It's Joey all the way. He's going to down 10 hot dogs in probably, 2 minutes? Maybe?
Yeah, Usain's
going to get like 3 hot dogs in 2 minutes?
Yeah, if that.
It's a talent, man. Like, you have to train for this. You have to be able to have some form of like...
But an athlete?
Well, so esports is a athletic sport now.
Well,
video games.
Well, that's kind of participation.
What's more impressive, winning a Call of Duty tournament or eating 76 hot dogs in whatever allotted amount of time you get there?
I don't think either of them. You're not
that amount of food in that amount of time.
I know, but that doesn't make
you dying.
It doesn't make you an athlete.
Are jockeys athletes?
Yeah.
Well, they're just riding a horse.
Absolutely.
They're slapping
at a high rate of speed and they die.
Well, he's eating food at a high rate of speed. Or he could die if he chokes.
I don't know that hammering down
There was a
hot
woman
dogs
that died because
athlete.
she drank too much water. There was it's a long time ago when the Nintendo Wii was first released, a radio show hosted a competition. Whoever can drink the most water in a certain amount of time will win a Nintendo Wii. So this lady enters the competition. She's chugging water, right? She drank so much water that she drowned herself from the inside out.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
If you don't train for this stuff, you will die.
I know, but that doesn't make you an athlete. Training to eat does not make you an athlete, Ryan. We're going to have to agree to disagree. Is he great at what he does? Absolutely. Can we just leave out the athlete? Is he the greatest of all time hot dog eater?
Can't do what he does.
Pierogi eater and waffle eater and bologna eater. No, I can't, but it doesn't mean he's an athlete.
You can play basketball, right? But you're not as good as Steph Curry or LeBron James. You can eat hot dogs, but you're not as good as Joey Chestnut. This is a competition.
I understand, but it's not.
He's
not an
competition.
athlete.
You have to train. You have to have endurance. You have to have speed. It's everything that involves any sort of athletic training.
I was on the fence about NASCAR drivers. Are they really athletes? Because there was that whole debacle back when Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson and everybody, and are they really athletes? Well, hell yeah. I was on the fence about that. Not a guy eating hot dogs. Love Joey Chestnut. Love what he does. Super impressed with
121 Twinkies in 6 minutes. 126
doesn't make
tortilla
you an athlete.
tacos in 8 minutes. 141 hard-boiled eggs in 8 minutes. 390 shrimp wontons in 8 minutes. 182 chicken wings in 30 minutes.
Right. You also have to train to be one of those Chinese dudes ramming a sword down his throat or putting a
They're not competing for that.
Putting a lighted stick in his mouth or doing whatever. You have to train
it's
for
not
that
a
too. It
competition,
doesn't
though.
make you an athlete.
Not a competition. It's a competition. You're competing against other people to be the best at something in the world.
So you're telling me all of these hog mollies that sit down at a pie eating contest are athletes because they have to train and it's a competition.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
What is the definition of an athlete to you?
You better look it up because it is not 70 and a half hot dogs.
What is it to you?
Not that. I mean,
define it for me.
I don't even know. Pull it up. He's not an athlete. He's not.
A person who is proficient in sports and other forms of physical exercise.
Okay, great. A person who is proficient in sports and other forms of physical exercise.
Okay, so now we need to define what is a sport. An activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another for entertainment. Boom!
You put those fingers clean in your own
ass. I'm not going anywhere. That's the definition of sport. What is sport? An activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment.
Don't care. Hit me with the comments. Is Joey Chestnut an athlete because he can eat gobs of every damn thing that he touches?
Because he has a skill in which he's an individual that competes against others for entertainment.
And I'm the dumbass.
How am I dumb? I just proved to you.
I didn't say you were dumb. I'm saying he's not an athlete.
He's made millions of dollars and had like sponsorships out the wazoo for doing what he's been able to do.
Oh, good for him. Playing video games isn't an athlete either, or any of that other stuff that you spewed off. No, it doesn't make you an athlete. That is not how you define athlete.
Listen,
but I'm
you can feel however you want to feel about it.
I'm sure he's a great guy. And I'm super proud of his accomplishments.
You can feel however you want to feel about it, but I mean, The facts don't lie.
God. Type in, is Joey Chestnut an athlete? Type that in. See what that comes up.
All right.
If I need to eat a shit burger on this, I will eat a shit burger. It's going to talk about him running track in 6th grade. He's an American competitive eater.
Okay.
What sport does Joey Chestnut play?
Eating. Yeah, there. Yes.
He's a competitive eater.
Yeah, and that's what
he
it
holds
pulls
the
up.
world records. Good. He's a competitive eater, not a competitive athlete. He's a competitive eater.
Is Joey Chestnut on the Mount Rushmore of elite athletes?
Yeah, what's that say?
Is Joey Chestnut the greatest American athlete of all time?
Oh, no. Competitive eater.
Yeah, but
I think it's impressive. He holds records. He does all
you're
that.
You're picking and choosing your definitions, though.
I am.
For sure.
Yes.
Because
I'm thinking sports. I'm thinking sports-related activity.
Well, yeah, we just defined what a sport was.
Right, and I'm thinking sport-related activity. And then when you break down the definition of sport, and it's saying, well, competing against teams for entertainment, that's a dumb definition.
It's not a dumb definition.
That is a dumb
it's
definition.
What it is.
I'm looking at something where you actually...
Yes, competitive eating is generally considered a sport by many, particularly with context of Major League Eating.
Major League Eating! The MLE.
Yeah.
And its affiliated events.
While some debate the classification, competitive eating involves rigorous training, strategic techniques, physical endurance, similar to a traditional sport.
Oh.
You're on the wrong side of this, man, because you're looking at it from a different
not
thing.
an athlete.
Like when you look at LeBron James, he's a basketball player first, he's an athlete second, right?
Sure.
Joey Chestnut would be a competitive eater first, but he's still in the classification of an athlete. It's just on a different spectrum.
In stupid terms, sure.
It's on a different spectrum.
Sure. Not an athlete. But, okay. We'll go.
Major League Eating, the governing body that organizes and sanctions competitive eating events, including the famous Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Well, there you go. Fox Sports Radio says Joey Chestnut.
I mean, from what affiliate, what sort of source would you need in order to believe that he's actually an athlete other than what's in your own warped definition?
It's just not an athlete. But whatever. Whatever.
It's like me telling you the sky's blue and you're like, no, I'm colorblind. It's green.
He's not an athlete.
It's my truth. This is my truth. I'm Kelly.
American competitive eater / athlete Joey Chestnut. Congratulations. Congratulations on 70.5 hot dogs and a plethora of other shit that you have rammed down your throat.
If you could trade careers with him, would you?
Oh, hell no.
No?
No, I can't even imagine the misery he's in. I cannot imagine. Training or not, I cannot imagine how that feels. Have you ever eaten, like, Thanksgiving? I ate too much, man. Like, I'm unbuttoning the pants. I'm laying in a recliner. I'm doing whatever. And you're just freaking miserable.
Would you rather be...
He does that shit for fun.
Would you rather play for Don Staley or be Joey Chestnut's toilet?
I will be the shitter. I will be the shitter. I can't believe you went Don Staley on me. Oof. Nope. I'm going to be Joey Chestnut's toilet. God, this is solid content. This is why we are the best content on the planet.
You can't say it out loud.
This is it. I won't. Not a fan. Not a fan of Don Staley. There it is. There it is. Not a big fan.
Speaking of athletes, would you ever date a woman that was physically stronger than you?
Oh, heavens. I do now. I'm married to one.
Really?
Oh, yeah. She could whip my ass. She's physically stronger.
Like she could lift more than, like you guys went to the gym and like did, you know, like you were lifting barbells and you were doing different things.
No, not necessarily, but she's very strong.
That's what
woman.
I'm talking about.
Very
like,
strong woman.
Like bench press, curls.
And yes, I would date a girl. Well, yeah. In my younger years, I absolutely would have dated a girl who's stronger.
Really?
Yep.
What's the appeal? Because with this conversation came up earlier today, and it's interesting. Like taller, stronger.
I think I would have.
Because I think for a lot of guys, it's a little emasculating.
Well, maybe, but I would have. I feel like I would maybe have a bigger issue if she was taller, which she almost is because I'm shrinking. But when we met, I was taller by a smidgen.
Yeah.
But I think I would have more of an issue with her being taller.
Let's say hypothetically she's 6'1" and you're 5'11".
I might have an issue with that.
Yeah. Why?
because I would feel very insecure.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true.
I
Though.
would feel very insecure.
Yeah, I think you want to say the quiet part out loud, but I think I do think it's like emasculating. I think it's a little bit of the insecurity thing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for a lot of guys, they want to be the. I don't know. I don't have a good word for it, but they want to be the. Well, they want to be the masculine one in the
They
relationship.
want to be the one who feels, looks,
Yeah.
acts more superior.
Superior.
I don't know. Is that a good word?
I think that's the wrong word.
Probably the wrong word.
I think it's the wrong word.
bigger.
Yeah, he didn't
stronger,
mean that.
faster, more
Don't-
manly.
don't
No,
beat-
I'm not
don't-
saying
Don't beat him up over that. He didn't mean that.
that is not at all what I meant.
No.
But it's an image thing.
Yeah.
It's a total image thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came up with a buddy earlier today where he was like, this chick, but she's way bigger and like stronger than I am.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. I maybe wouldn't have felt the same way at 23.
Yeah.
I'm all right with it now.
Yeah.
I'm good with it.
I do think you just become kind of more comfortable with who you are as you get older.
Yeah.
You know,
I know my
Younger,
limitations.
you're like, no, I
know my
gotta be the
limitations.
man in the relationship.
Ah, whatever.
Yeah. And when you get older, you're like, no, carry me through the threshold.
You're right. You're my events
Yeah.
coordinator.
Yeah.
I'll do what
Yeah.
you tell me. Like,
I'll be on
set
bottom
this
during
up. I'll be
missionary.
there. What'd you just say?
What?
Shit.
Anyway,
Sometimes I don't catch that.
did you get it?
I got it this time.
There you go.
I got it this time. I just wanted you to say it again,
Yeah.
just to make sure I heard it clearly.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah, you can catch that on the replay, should you choose. But I just needed to throw that in there because it was a topic of debate. And no right or wrong answer there, depending on who you are. But it was kind of a funny conversation because
I think we have people in our friend group, in our social circle, in our friend group, that would feel differently about that. I think that we might know a person or two that would have a little bit of an issue
okay,
with the girl being stronger.
all right,
I think so.
you could be surprised. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
We'll talk about it after the show.
Or not.
Anyway,
Shit, did I just mute myself?
no, you're good.
Probably should have.
No, I think I still got you over here. So let's. I don't know how we transition from that into something that's a little bit more of a serious topic, but continuing with the 4th of July festivities, if I can figure out how to talk again. Social media is a weird and wonderful place. It can also be an incredibly negative place. And one place where it's incredibly negative is when you have a guy like Jason Kelce, who has been, for all intents and purposes, like pretty much across the board, kind of a beloved figure since it's kind of towards the end of his playing career, now after his playing career. But he gets on Twitter and he says the following: "Man, I love the 4th. One of the greatest days we all can set aside our differences in this country and enjoy the one thing we all share in common, that we're American. Cheers to you, oh beautiful America." Pretty harmless, right?
Right.
At least I feel like,
Yep.
depending on who you are. Because then he just ends up getting murdered in the comment section by a bunch of people for posting that.
Yep. That
Thoughts?
wasn't the only thing he got murdered for.
Okay, well, that was the main one that I saw, because then it was one thing after another where it's, America's only great if you're wealthy. This caption screams tone deaf. Read the room. You're out of touch. All sorts of things.
Yeah.
And I think it's people just caught in their own political emotions with it, for sure, because he wasn't specifically saying anything other than the fact that, like, and the irony of this whole thing is what people are commenting.
Yeah.
You imagine doing that in a country where you don't have freedom of speech?
Correct.
What he's celebrating is your ability to be able to disagree with him in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So the issue that I saw with Jason Kelce, that it pisses me off to a couple different levels. So obviously every year since I think 2021, he puts on a fundraiser to support autism
Okay.
in the Philadelphia region, right? So this year when he does it,
Does he have any experience with it? Does any family members or anything like that? Or is it
that I don't know. I don't know the entire history behind it, but I know that he does it, and he does it for a good cause. And I know that this year he climbed up on a lifeguard chair and stripped down to his star-spangled briefs.
which, yeah.
So you'll see it all over
seems to be
social-
doing that quite often.
Right, and you'll see it all over social media. I mean, this is the guy that in the Super Bowl supporting his brother rips his shirt off in
Right.
whatever temperatures, and he's like, bah, Anyway, he starts off this little fundraiser thing, and it's public. It's on Twitter and all other social media platforms, but he gets up and whoop, he rips it off to a Star Spangled Briefs, right? People go ballistic over, well, why are you doing that? And the cause of your fundraiser, and it doesn't support this and it doesn't support that. And people are absolutely blowing him up. The man has, this fundraiser thing since 2021 has made $1.4 million, right? Towards autism and all things autism. He's like, his cause is a good cause. What he is doing is a good cause. I don't understand why social media beat him up so bad. I don't understand why people think that that is such a problem. Then go do something else. Then don't watch. Then, you do you. You do your own damn thing. What are you doing for a fundraiser?
Right.
Are you even the kind of person that would get up and strip down to your freaking Star Spangled Briefs? I don't know.
For autism.
But leave him alone. I mean, what he's doing is what he's doing. I didn't know about the 4th of July thing. I knew about this.
Yeah.
And this was the autism fundraising thing.
Yeah.
It's like people are just freaking awful.
They just look for
They're
something
just awful.
to be mad about.
But here's the other thing. I'm glad you brought that up. So I think we've talked about this in prior episodes, and it kind of fired me up, and it might have been Kelly's Coffin Corner. It might have been some of that other stuff. But why people feel that they can go after and just make such negative comments directly to athletes, superstars, movie stars, whatever, people of fame. Why people feel that they get like they can do that. I mean, they can do that because they can, right? But I don't understand what's the gain by doing it. And here's what brought it up. Are you doing a video? Did you just do a video?
There's no sound on it. I'm just,
dude, that's amazing. That's
It's
awesome.
just for Instagram. Like,
that was
chill
fun.
out.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So anyway, Patrick Mahomes gets on Twitter. This is only an example. Not. It has nothing to do with Patrick Mahomes. Anything. It just came up, and I'm like,
and it meets the quota for talking about the Chiefs at least one time per
no.
episode, so
That's not true. I was thinking about this. I've been thinking about this and bringing this up in multiple episodes.
And
but
nobody comes after Pat without getting through.
You see somebody, whether it's Patrick Mahomes, whether it's LeBron, whether it's whoever, you see them make a post, and this one specifically is on Twitter. And my mind immediately goes to, I don't even want to click on that because I can't even imagine the comments.
Sure.
So here are the first 15 comments, right? He says great start, which I think was in reference to which we're going to get into, the Gold Cup final for U.S. Soccer.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's where I think he's saying
we might be
great
running
start.
a little long. We might have to skip that.
Comments, just from him posting great start. Comments, Justin Fields is better than you. How did it feel getting manhandled by the Eagles last year in the Super Bowl? I know it still keeps you up at night. You watching actual football, huh? Unlike you in the Super Bowl. I mean, terrible finish, sadly, like your Super Bowl. Oh, you're watching the Super Bowl? With the eagle emoji. When will you have a pet frog and name him Kermit?
Was that me? I feel like
Which part?
The pet frog one.
Because he's Kermit the Frog. They say
I know.
his voice. Yeah.
I know.
When will you have a pet frog and name him Kermit?
Yeah.
Like that's, you literally suck at the Super Bowl. The man posts great start to a soccer match, I think, and this is how he gets blown up.
Dude, that happens.
And it's like,
so
are
often.
you freaking serious? Can you imagine, Ryan, in your job, right? In your job or at any point in your life where you post something like, here's my new bike, and all of a sudden everybody just gets to blast you.
Yeah.
Right? He's talking about USA Soccer, I think, right? And this is where we go. Justin Fields is better than you. Are you ever going to have a pet frog and name him Kermit? It's just awful. I'm not going to ask why people do it. They do it because they're a bunch of freaking idiots and because they can, right? That's why they do it.
Yeah.
But what's the gain? Like, do you feel better? Do you feel better as an individual?
It happens all the time. I mean, Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, they have a podcast called Two Bears. And then Tom does another podcast, I think with his wife, where they talk about similar stuff like this.
Yeah.
And they went through the comment section of this one Instagram user. It's just, it's this, it's this girl who just makes coffee. And she's just trying to be super nice throughout all of her Instagram videos.
Don't do that. You're a target.
And so she's just like, she looks a little different and it is what it is. And she kind of has these like round Harry Potter glasses, but her whole thing is like, I'm going to be nice. and send love out into the world with these videos and tell you what's going on with my life and my coffee shop, right? And it's just these super harmless videos. Then you go in the comment section and they're going through it. There's a clip on YouTube. I don't remember sorry, Tom, I don't remember the name of your other podcast. But they're like reading the comments. It's like, hate from Australia. Like, good job, buddy. These videos are great. And they just keep calling her a guy and like for no reason other than to just be a jerk.
Right. What's to gain? Do you feel better?
For the athlete thing, and maybe I shouldn't be laughing, but just the simple fact that they were just looking for an opening. Like he posts on Twitter, great start. Are you watching the Super Bowl?
Are you rewatching the Super Bowl? Eagle emoji. Right?
Oh man.
It's just
there's nothing to gain other than it's just sometimes the comment section is just pure comedy.
I know, and I just kept scrolling and I'm like, people are I don't know what's the gain. We don't do shit generally if there's nothing to gain, right? I mean, what's the gain from that?
What's the saying?
Ha ha, look what I get to do. I responded to Patrick Mahomes and ha ha. I mean, just dumb.
There's no such
like,
thing as
be
a selfless,
better.
No such thing as a selfless act, right?
Goodness gracious. Dumb.
I'm surprised they leave the comments on because half of them just turn it off.
Well, you wonder. I mean, it's not in question why so many people who are famous have people run their Twitter account. Why they have people run their Instagram.
You don't
why
want to
they
get stuck in that.
No,
right?
it's I mean, maybe there was somebody sitting there and Patrick was watching the game and his social media coordinator, Patrick just says, "Oh, great start." And okay, well, social media coordinator, we're going to go ahead and type that on Twitter and then just get annihilated. It's terrible.
Well, so you had me go back through and look at the comment section of some of this Joey Chestnut stuff just for fun. And a verified account posts on this, the Rochester Red Wings, okay? They look to be an amateur baseball team. They posted a comment on Instagram for this Joey Chestnut post. And they said, "Can someone study the velocity at which this comes back out of him?" Oh, dude. We should maybe just run a segment called the comment section and just find a post, go through it.
It's going to be a long one, but yeah. Right. You can do it with anyone.
Yeah. I don't have an answer for you when you're like, what do you have to gain? I think you're trying to what is it, like clout chasing, or like you're on the coattails of somebody that's much more popular or famous than you, so you're looking to hopefully have somebody read your comment and like, oh man, that's pretty funny. And the internet is consistently probably one of the funniest places there is, especially the comment section of certain things.
But you'll see this, right? You'll see the negative response and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you'll start seeing the thumbs up, you'll start seeing the hearts, you'll start seeing the likes, you'll start seeing all this stuff.
Right.
And it's by many, right? It's like, what's to gain? Like, what is the point? It's not like he's saying anything controversial, right? It's not, other than great start. Great start. Hell, we don't know what was happening. Yeah. Was he watching a Rockies game?
The ones you read were probably pretty tame, because I guarantee you there's other ones in there where like, I hope you tear your ACL, or like... Yeah.
Keep scrolling.
Yeah.
They're in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in there.
Is.
I love it.
Holy cow.
How many of said people would actually say that to his face?
None, because
correct.
This is the syndrome that my dad and my grandpa had growing up with Dale Earnhardt, and we may have gone over this a few times. Both of them huge NASCAR fans, grew up, and they're both like, oh, Bill Elliott's like, he's like God tier status, right? But they hated Dale Earnhardt.
Yeah.
Till he died.
Right.
And then he was like one of the greatest racers of all time.
Now they're driving around with 3 on their back window.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to the point, even so, that we went to an event one time when I was younger down in Daytona, and we had an opportunity to get Dale Earnhardt's autograph. And, of course, my grandpa's in line waiting to get it. And then my, 8-year-old brain is confused by this because I'm like, don't you fucking hate this guy?
Right.
Like, you're waiting in line to get his autograph?
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure you were, cursing him a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
But you get in front of this guy, and now all of a sudden it's like, well, he's a legend, and you got to make sure all this other stuff.
Right. So your 8-year-old brain would be the guy that when Grandpa finally approaches and Earnhardt's signing that, you're tugging on his pocket saying, what? Grandpa, I thought you said you hate him.
Guess what?
I thought you don't like him.
Guess who didn't get his autograph as we went through the line?
Grandpa didn't get it.
Me.
Oh, you didn't.
because I didn't want it because I had the association with my grandfather not liking him.
Did you mean mug him?
Yeah, I told him I didn't like him.
You told him?
Yeah.
Like Dale and her?
Yes. I should get my mom on here because she can tell you the story.
I don't
She can
like
tell you
him.
the story. Do you want my autograph? No, I don't. Because my grandpa doesn't like you. Dead serious.
Freaking way,
Yeah.
dude.
But that's how it, like, the innocence of a child, right? Like, nobody's going to be more honest with you than a child.
Right.
But that was the way I was raised. Like, cursing at the TV. Like, I spent Saturdays, weekends with my grandparents, things like that. Like, so I was inundated with this stuff. I learned how to count, with NASCARs, things like that. I mean, I've got a Davey Allison car sitting to the right to me, and there's a Bill Elliott one somewhere else. But that was because my dad was collecting die-cast race cars. That was apparently, quote-unquote, my collection. And by the time I got to, like, 25, I'm like, what are you doing with all these cars? Well, these are yours. I'm like, no, they're not. Sell them and go on a honeymoon or something. Like, I'm like, I don't want these.
I don't want your autograph. I don't like you.
But it's the same stuff there. You said, would you say it to their face?
Right,
No,
right.
98% of those guys are going to take Patrick Mahomes' autograph, or they're gonna want to meet him or take a picture with him.
Not Ryan, baby.
Because then you can have the clout where you're like, look who I met. And you might be a diehard Raider fan, but you got to meet Patrick Mahomes.
You're getting his autograph. I don't care. Raider fan, you're getting his autograph.
Yeah.
You are.
If only to sell it, you're still getting it.
You're getting it.
Right?
Yep.
I'm trying to think of who over the years I wouldn't. Like if I met them or saw them from across the way. Like
I can tell you this, I wouldn't get Aaron Rodgers' autograph. I wouldn't.
If you were in a supermarket somewhere and you just happen to run into him.
Nope. Wouldn't do it. I'd walk right past him. I'm not giving him the time of day.
You
I don't
You
even.
are so full of shit.
No, I am not. I would not get his autograph.
You're so full of shit.
He is going to get nothing from me. I'm not going to acknowledge that I even know who you are. I'm not going to support his ego.
In a random
or feed
world
his
where you're
ego.
walking through a store and you just happen to have an Aaron Rodgers rookie card in your
No
hand.
way. Nope. I won't have his rookie card.
No, listen, I'm playing hypotheticals here.
So am I. I would not approach him. I would not ask for his autograph. I wouldn't do any of it. He could set his table up in the grocery store in Hill City, South Dakota, Aaron Rodgers Day. The only thing I might say,
You're going to skip on a profit. You're going to skip on a profit just because you don't like a guy.
100%. I would not get his
You're not
autograph.
you're not even going to take advantage of a guy?
No, I would not get his autograph. Let me make that crystal clear. I would not get his autograph.
Dude, I just, you...
I wouldn't.
You're taking some wild stances today over things that are just logical, in my opinion.
This is the well, Joey Chestnut's not an athlete. I'm not backing down on that. Secondly, I would not get Aaron Rodgers' autograph. I would not.
That's wild. That is a wild accusation.
Yeah.
I don't even think there's anybody in the league, current or past, that I wouldn't go up to and try to get their autograph if the opportunity presented it.
Would you get Marshawn Lynch?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so would I.
Yeah.
I'd give him a bag of Skittles.
I'd try to get a picture with him. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who do you think I wouldn't, just based on my fan base?
Nobody. Based on the stance you just took, nobody.
I mean, Kaepernick.
Well,
That'd be a tough one for me. And not because of the stuff that happened after his playing career.
but
because of just certain, but still, if I had the opportunity, I don't know.
he really wasn't that big of a deal in the league anyway. He didn't play long enough, and he really wasn't that.
He was there long enough to beat the Packers in the playoffs twice.
I understand, but he really wasn't that big of a deal. And then all the not so much off the field, on the field.
Yeah.
All the controversial crap that he pulled and all the games he played afterwards and and they won't let me do this or that. Well, just assimilate.
He's trying to make a comeback. He's still throwing those little.
Oh, I'm sure he
throwing
is.
those little, message in a bottle out there. I'm 37, still working out.
Yeah, playing with Des Bryant and Terrell Owens. Keep playing.
Like,
I think Ocho Cinco might be a part of that too.
Minus his off the field stuff that he's done for the last 10 years. Who's picking up a 37-year-old guy that hasn't played for that amount of time?
Nobody.
That's wild.
Nobody.
Wild.
But Joe Flacco remains employed. Why? Because he's a rule follower.
Because he hasn't stopped playing.
Correct. And he's a rule follower. And he's genuinely probably a really good guy.
Oh, man. Crazy. That took a turn.
You want to know what took a turn, Ryan?
You know who I wouldn't get an autograph from?
What?
Probably Aaron Hernandez. I can't anymore, but I mean, like,
Somebody could lift his hand and scribble for you.
OJ would be a weird one, but can't do that one anymore. Jeez.
You'd get indicted.
Wow.
You get Aaron Hernandez's autograph, buddy. You're getting indicted.
Yeah.
You know what took a turn, Ryan? I know we've said we're never going to talk about soccer. The only thing I'm going to mention about soccer is, did you at all see the controversy over Mauricio Pochettino, the head coach for U.S.'s soccer team? Mauricio Pochettino.
Hold up. The head coach of the U.S. soccer team?
Yep.
Is Mauricio?
Yep.
Pochettino?
That is correct.
He's not American?
He is.
He is?
He lives here.
Mauricio,
yeah. Not entirely sure where he's from.
He lives here. He's on a work visa. He's American.
Hey, he might have been born here. Makes him American.
The men's team?
Yeah, men's team. U.S. coach Mauricio Pochettino faulted match officials for 3 key calls in the Americans' 2-1 Gold Cup final loss to Mexico Sunday night. Now, here's the deal. We have talked countless times about officiating, right? And we've focused a lot on the NFL, and we focused a lot on MLB. And we're talking about, computer-related stuff and what they're going to do in the NFL.
He was an Argentinian player.
There you have it. Right, but he's the coach of the U.S. men's soccer team.
How?
Because they hired him. But if you don't have to watch, you don't have to rewatch the match. But the 3 things that he talks about.
I'm stuck on the fact that you can hire somebody, and this has nothing to do with anything. I'm stuck on the fact that you're the national U.S. soccer team.
Correct.
And your coach isn't from the nation in which you represent.
Right.
Isn't that like the whole reason why there's a U.S. soccer team?
Yeah. But why not get it? Why not get a guy with years and years of experience? And
you can lose to Mexico 1-2. Great job.
Not true.
Good job.
Not true.
I'm pretty sure you could hire somebody in the United States.
I can't believe this is the stance that you're taking. This is the stance you're taking. You should be taking the stance that we've complained so much about officiating in major sports. This obviously major sport, Gold Cup final, and he makes comments in reference to the officiating in 3 key calls, and he is not wrong. You don't have to rewatch the match. You don't have to do anything if you don't want to in terms of watching anything. But if you want, look at the replays of the 3 calls that are in question. One of which, a guy from Mexico actually hands the ball in the penalty zone. U.S. doesn't get a free kick. They overturn a goal and then reverse it. I mean, he's got legitimate reason, and they denied a review on one of the most controversial things in the entire match. In fact, in the entire Cup series, they denied a review of a super controversial thing, which likely would have given the United States the lead and or an additional penalty kick. It was bad, and it didn't... initially when I read the headline, I'm like, okay, yeah, just somebody else bitching about something. But they had clips of it, and they had replays and clips of each one of the things, whether it was a no call offsides, whether it was somebody doing something in the penalty box, where they said that the ball touched this guy's hand. No, he cupped it. Like he put his hand on top of the ball and physically stopped the ball from moving in the penalty zone. Like it was bad. It was super bad. And again, we focus too much on the NFL and the MLB in terms of the officiating and referees and, even the NBA to some extent. This is bad because this brings it out national level. And it was being played, I believe, in Houston, but the crowd was made up of primarily Hispanic people. And now, of course, there's all the controversial stuff about, was the crowd too big? Was it certain nationality, whatever the case is? Why didn't we do this? Why didn't we make this call? Why did we reverse this call? And there's all this stuff about, they didn't want the United States to win, whatever. There's all this stuff. I'm focused on the 3 plays that he talked about where if those had happened in NFL games and they had a clear review like these guys had in this soccer match, if they would have had a clear review, look at that. The ball touched his hand. You got a picture up. The ball touched his hand. That's actually the thing where you could see it live. Yeah, the ball touched his hand.
So, incidental or not, that's still a penalty in soccer, right? Like, it doesn't matter.
Correct, but it was not a penalty. It was
Well, that's my point. Like,
right.
yeah.
And then they called it. There's the other one where they call a foul. Is that what it's called? They call a foul. They call a penalty on.
We're not the people to be talking about this sport.
No, I know, but a guy from Mexico, right? They call.
I think they give him a greeting card if they do something wrong.
Right. So they call a penalty on a United States guy who gets in the kicking lane of one of the Mexican players, and the Mexican guy falls down on his own accord. The Mexico soccer player falls down on his own accord, and they whip a card at the American for a penalty. But things like that happen where he cups the ball. They're actually offsides in the penalty box.
What does he do to the ball?
Cups it. Like, as one of the players said, he handled it like Shaquille O'Neal. Like,
Gotcha.
he just
Yeah.
palms it and sticks his hand down on it. You can see it. It's right there. Anyway, I think we've spent a lot of time again on officiating, and it doesn't just start and stop with the sports that we watch the most of. It's across the board,
Right. You know,
and it's bad. And they have review. I looked that up. They do have review.
Yeah.
And they have the ability to go back, and they have the ability to challenge and review that. And they denied this coach a review. Denied it. And the offsides penalty was blatant. Like, he was clearly, during a penalty kick, he was offsides. It's bad. It's bad. Anyway, I just wanted to touch on that because, again, officiating is, I mean, it can get you fired up.
So what does this all mean then? What's the
Ultimately, the U.S. got cheated a point.
I mean, what's the outcome of this game means what?
Apparently, Mexico gets to win the Gold Cup final. That's what it means.
What's the Gold Cup?
And the U.S., well, it's pretty much like the standard. Oh, Jesus Christ. Did I really just break the chair? Did Mr. 2% just break this chair? That could not have happened. Sorry, I'm grabbing my ass. I'm trying to figure this out. Okay, no. The Gold Cup is I think it's the equivalent of whatever that was in hockey.
The premier men's national soccer team tournament for North, Central, and the Caribbean region.
There you go.
Every 2 years it's held, and it's the equivalent of a contentional championship in the CONCACAF. Geez, there's a lot of... Pick a smaller acronym. My God.
Yeah.
Okay.
So ultimately what happened is they reversed the call that gave Mexico a goal. They didn't make a call that took a goal away from the United States, and they cheated the United States from an opportunity for a penalty kick on the one where you saw him palm the ball.
All right.
So
I've heard of the Gold Cup before, but it always seems to be between the United States and Mexico, so it's just a formality as to which country's going to end up winning it, because it seems like Canada, Costa Rica, Panama, and others are never in it for whatever reason.
Right.
So I think the significance of it is lost on me because it's just kind of like I don't even know. It's hard for me to like feel like it's a big deal, I guess.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
There are people that would probably argue that the NFL Super Bowl is not a big deal.
I understand that.
And a lot of them would be hockey fans because hockey's the real football, right?
Hockey?
Sorry, jeez. Good Lord. Soccer.
No, hockey's the real football.
Soccer's the real football.
You got it. Nailed it.
Hockey's the real rugby.
Wow. We're going to lose a lot.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
We didn't have a lot of it.
It wasn't about soccer as much as it was
like...
about the officiating.
Yeah.
And the coach is justified in what he said.
Yeah.
They have visual evidence.
While terrible, the significance of it is lost on me because this just seems like, and I've heard that the team that the United States even put out there was just kind of like our B team anyway.
Well, they were missing something like 8 of their starters or something. So it was actually quite a phenomena.
Yeah, I ran across it, I think last week before they were talking about it on The Herd, and it was basically like, if we can go out there and this is our B team, we can compete, then it means such and such a thing. But I don't know. I don't have any credibility when it comes to soccer whatsoever. I don't have any credibility in anything in general. So we apologize for this segment if it's not the most in depth.
Sorry, I can't go a lot deeper than that. Sometimes it's hard to spell soccer.
Some guys have that problem.
You're something. You're something.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Because I just My apathy for that is just I have none whatsoever.
Cool.
Bad call.
Cool.
Bad sport.
3 bad calls. And it's
Soccer. Football.
So did you see the thing with Roethlisberger and LaShawn McCoy?
No.
You didn't see anything on it?
Not at all.
So Roethlisberger, obviously 2-decade quarterback, Pittsburgh Steelers, won a couple titles, da-da-da-da.
Actually fat.
Big Ben. Big Ben.
He's
got him
thinner now than when he plays.
He's got himself a podcast, right? It's called Footballin'. Saying that he
Hold on. Footballin'? Nobody ever better give a shit about the name of our podcast ever again.
They don't.
Footballin'?
Footballin'.
Spelled how?
Footballin. Footballin'.
You're kidding.
That was a pull the mic away from the face moment. We're going somewhere now. So he's got a podcast called Footballin'. And he said on his podcast that he would take a prime Aaron Rodgers over a prime Patrick Mahomes. While making it clear that it was just his personal opinion, the comment didn't sit well with LaShawn McCoy. So he used it as fuel to sound off on Roethlisberger during an appearance on the show. So what Roethlisberger said was, I would take Aaron in his prime over Patrick now. I think Aaron Rodgers, in his prime, was one of the top few to ever do it. So is Patrick Mahomes in his prime. Patrick Mahomes is just entering out of his prime, and I think Patrick Mahomes is going to go down as another arguable GOAT. LaShawn McCoy gets on, and he doesn't like the comment that is made by Roethlisberger, and LaShawn McCoy gets on. Big Ben hates. One thing about Big Ben, you play 18 years, you have no All-Pros, not one first team, not one second team. This is just me. I don't respect players that talk about greats a certain way, and you have nowhere the type of success they had. You played for 18 years, and you never was considered. This is a quote. This is not me. You played for 18 years, and you never was considered the best quarterback or the second best quarterback in football. So, amazing. Even regardless of how you wanted to perceive that and how you wanted to take that, Roethlisberger's entitled to his opinion. And the reason that this caught my attention was you see this all the time where these former players don't like something that somebody says. They don't like somebody's opinion. They don't like whatever. And they use their platform to kind of get their voice out there. And I think a lot of it, you see Emmanuel Acho, and he does a lot of that stuff where I think he does it for clicks. I think he does it to try to get comments. I think he does it just to try to fire people.
Oh, they all do. I mean, it's the same reason why Nick Wright chose the Bears to go to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Same thing. So Roethlisberger says what he says, and there's nothing wrong with what he said. If he feels that way, then he feels that way. Is he entitled to make that opinion? Did he play 2 decades with Pittsburgh? Did he win 2 championships? He did all these things, right? Everybody's entitled to make their pick on who they want to take and do whatever.
He played against Aaron Rodgers in a Super Bowl. On the biggest stage.
He did, and there are countless attributes about Ben Roethlisberger that, can you call him great? Some can, some probably won't. But in any event, during a better portion of his career, he's a pretty solid quarterback.
Yeah.
Pretty good dude. And he can say whatever the hell he wants.
Right.
And why LaShawn McCoy gets a microphone in front of his face and has to get on there and start bumping his gums about Big Ben hates, and he doesn't get to evaluate talent, and he had no All-Pros. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion. All-Pros don't matter, LaShawn.
Yeah.
All-Pros don't matter.
He's been to 2, or he's been to 3. He's won 2.
Correct.
But the thing, rebuke it, right? Say you don't agree with it, but then give him reasons as to why you don't. Don't just attack Ben.
Yeah, Big Ben hates. That's the best you've got.
There's a ton of other people out there giving opinions, i.e. the 2 people at this table right now that have
Correct.
no accreditation or credibility to be able to give you a reason as to why they think one player is better over the other. And yet here we are spewing it out like it's like we feel like it's our truth, right? Like Joey Chestnut is an athlete, he's not an athlete, just based on the way that we view it. But why attack him? Give us reasons as to why you think his opinion is wrong, other than the fact that you just think he doesn't have any credibility because he didn't have any first teams and whatever. Okay,
yeah. So what?
Half that shit's a popularity contest anyway.
Correct.
Okay, LaShawn, you've got 6 Pro Bowls. What is the Pro Bowl? Seriously, what is the Pro Bowl other than a giant fat joke for people to go and have a vacation and do nothing?
Correct. What it's become is atrocious. Yes.
Okay, congratulations on that.
Yes.
Good for you. You've got 2 Super Bowl rings yourself, but I mean, were you the best running back at your position during those 2 runs? I mean, it all depends on what we're talking about here.
Yep.
So I would have preferred had he attacked it from a different point of view, which is kind of where I was hoping we were going to go with it, because I think that's an interesting conversation that I just recently had over the last week or so, where it's like, you know, who are you picking, and where are these quarterbacks going to end up, you think, at the end of their career? I think there is a very good argument to be made that Aaron Rodgers is one of the greatest regular season quarterbacks of all time. We were just talking about Patrick Mahomes last week, where we've had a steady decline over the course of 3 years in the regular season. He's still clutch at the end. What is his career going to look like, let's say, if he never wins another Super Bowl? Yep. What are we looking at there? So, yes, he's clutch in the clutch moments, but overall, from a statistical standpoint, how does that look? Similar with Lamar. Lamar just kind of feels to me like he's Aaron Rodgers 2.0. Amazing in the regular season. He's got all the accolades. He's got all the stats, but then we're fizzling out towards the more important games towards the end of our career. So it just kind of depends on what you feel.
Rodgers did make a Super Bowl, though.
He did. He won.
Yeah, Lamar won.
Yeah. Made one, won one, but never got back. But I think that's an even more important thing to talk about, where it's like it's incredibly hard to do what these guys are doing, to be able to get back consistently and win consistently and win those big games consistently. There's something that's a gene. That's something that makes you one of the greatest of all time.
So why does McCoy take the stance? Why does he got to fire back at Roethlisberger? Do you think?
Why I don't know.
Because he chose Rodgers over Mahomes. He didn't necessarily say that longevity of career. I agree with you 100%. It's not about longevity of career. He merely stated he'd take Rodgers in his prime over Patrick in his prime.
Right.
Still loves Patrick. Still says that he arguably be in the GOAT conversation, whatever the case is. There was nothing wrong with what he said. There was nothing.
Right, which I think just from a pure play standpoint, take away records, all the other stuff, the way that they played and how efficient they were, I would tend to believe that there's a majority of people out there that would agree with that statement.
Yeah, likely.
Even Chiefs fans would go, yeah, I think prime Aaron Rodgers, based on what I witnessed, I think you have to bite your tongue and go, yeah, there were things that he was doing at that time.
Age of said Chiefs fan,
right,
and duration of being in the Chiefs kingdom,
yeah,
they might feel differently about it, because you get some that Patrick is the only quarterback who they've known for the Chiefs.
Right.
They didn't endure the 20 years of shitness.
Yeah.
And all that other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand McCoy's. I don't understand the stance. I don't understand what he's why he's targeting that.
Yeah. And it all depends on how you view these quarterbacks too. I firmly believe that Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes are the 2 clutchest quarterbacks to ever play the game that I've ever seen. They get it done in the clutch. They win close games. They do what they need to do in order to win. I mean, Pat's already second all time in playoff wins. So, that stands for something. If you go from pure talent standpoint, I think Aaron Rodgers is the best pure passer, thrower of the football that we've ever seen.
Yep.
Accuracy-wise, arm strength, all of it. I think it is far and away the best we've ever seen at this point in time, ever.
I think that you could line up 10 people who watch NFL, familiar with some of the household names. You could line up 10 people and say, all right, give me your top 5 most clutch quarterbacks. I think 2 to 3 of the names are going to be similar throughout. Mm-hmm. Maybe not ranked the same, but I think 2 to 3 of those are going to show up in everybody's list. Yeah. I think that's going to happen. I don't know what his beef is with Roethlisberger.
There's definitely a personal thing there.
It feels like it.
So I don't really get it, but whatever. Interesting.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, I mean.
But, Big Ben, he got himself a podcast like we do, right?
Yeah, his logo sucks.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Speaking of that, we have a listener who's going to start her own podcast.
You've said that before.
Shout out to Michaela. She's going to get something going. We're going to give it a listen.
All right.
We're going to give it a listen.
Okay. Sounds good.
And it doesn't sound like it's going to be the antagonist Armchair Authority. It sounds like she's going to legitimately get into it. She's excited about it. I think it's awesome.
She's rocking it solo.
I encourage it. It doesn't sound like it.
Okay.
Doesn't sound like it. I encourage anybody, man. You want to have a little fun, get together, a lot of fun. Fun fact, we need to get the hell out of this room at some point.
Yeah.
And we need to go on the road and do something somewhere, because I think that'd be fun.
All right.
I've still been approached by that. Hey, you guys ever going to get together somewhere else where everybody could show up and blah, 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 and have a good time? I still think we should do that. But,
okay.
But I'm also not the keeper of the board.
It'd be fun to do a draft party or something.
Wouldn't that be
fantasy
awesome?
Football draft party.
I was sitting at Cohort where, 2 of our listeners were sporting our merch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this might be the right venue. drop down a board, throw some tables together. Can you imagine the random shit that we would hear if people see microphones?
Yeah.
And they're drinking 9.4 alcohol.
By volume.
Man, we would hear some random stuff.
There would be some stuff in there.
Also, a little feedback that didn't come through the wire. It came through my ears. Calling people is fun.
Yes,
we should try to continue doing that.
Okay. Yeah. No, that was a good time. Let's see here. I need a little bit of some silliness.
What are we doing? Are we gaming?
We are going to talk about the Rockies, but I just want to
because here's the other thing. Can I just do this?
Yeah.
I really want to nix the AFC South talk. I don't care, and I don't think anybody else does either.
Okay.
Do we really want to talk about where we think the Colts, Titans, Jaguars, or Texans are going to end up?
I don't know. My brother the other day just made a crazy old statement about he thinks the Titans are going to be a playoff team.
Well, because of the current format, it's not terribly unlikely because they just have to win their division, which I don't think that they'll get over Houston.
Mostly because of his infatuation with Cam Ward.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah. Too early.
So.
Too early, brother.
We'll see.
Let's call him. Let's call him.
If he wasn't working right now, I would. So, you made a crazy claim.
Who can I randomly call?
Surprise. Let me get my little article pulled up here, which I should have done before.
That's all right.
Here we go.
The
Colorado Rockies. This is your check-in. As stated above, Kelly and I were looking at different possibilities that the Colorado Rockies could be eliminated. We were actively rooting against them.
I still am
with my Rocky shirt on. Jeez.
Whoa.
I need standings for 2025 to be eliminated from playoff contention come All-Star Weekend or All-Star Week, which is happening here. I believe it's this weekend. We hit here, I think, Monday, the 14th is the Home Run Derby. So right now, Colorado Rockies sit at 21-70. They are 34.5 games back in the division, and I believe they're 20. What are they in the wild card? Why, dude? I hate how websites do this crap. As far as the standings are concerned, just give me Bleacher Report. They're 20-some games back in the wild card, right? So I was kind of looking at it. I think they've won enough games to continue to be in contention afterward.
I think.
Well, I'm not a mathematician, right? And I'm not going to sit here and try to break it down. I was hoping there was a more simple answer where I could just look up and be like, have they been eliminated? So far, no. I mean, the Chicago White Sox were so bad last year. They got eliminated in the first week of August, right? So there's still 2 months left for them to play. So, I mean, we're closing in on August rapidly, which is kind of a scary thing to think about, that summer's almost over. But I think they had 30 wins at that point in time. The Rockies have 21. So, I mean, things could get really bad here in a hurry. For instance, they lost to the White Sox just the other day. The Rockies have now lost 17 straight series at home dating back to last season.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good.
Yep.
It's so bad, in fact, that it matches the longest home losing streak in MLB history with the Philadelphia Athletics, who had a 17-game drought from June of 1916 to May of 1917. Been a long time since we've seen somebody this bad.
Well, it sounds like they're damn near giving tickets away at this point. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law live right outside of Denver.
Yeah.
And we just had this conversation actually a couple days ago, and she has been hit up a number of different times about, hey, do you want some Rockies tickets? And even them with 2 young kids, they're like, no. No thanks.
My sister and her boyfriend did go down there this weekend. They put on one hell of a fireworks display, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, we went a few years back. Super fun to go watch and see all that stuff. So that is, you go sit in Rock Pop for probably, $10, and then just hang out.
Yeah.
But I refuse to go back regardless of who they're playing, until the team gets sold. So
nope. Just
don't want to be a part of it. I mean, they're losing 3-9 to the Red Sox as of, today already. Apparently. Apparently that game's over and done with, right? Did I read that right?
Yep. Final.
Or maybe that's it. Maybe that was from yesterday. Regardless, it's a it's a shit show.
They have a problem.
Well, and it's not getting. I mean, they do have an all-star. I think Goodman or something like that made the all-star. So it's just I don't understand how you can be this bad. Like it's baseball. You and I have both played baseball. Anything can happen. You can beat anybody any day.
Generally.
But apparently the Rockies, with them, like I said, so they're 34.5 out from their division, and then the wild card, they're 20. Where am I looking at here? Why can't I find this? Game's back 28.5. So at 21-70, man, they're going to be eliminated before August.
Yes.
Just not before the All-Star break. Real bummer.
Depending on how you define it, they truly are eliminated before the All-Star break.
Their run differential is minus 235.
Yep.
For those that don't know,
it's generally not good.
That means they've been outscored by 235 runs.
That is correct.
The next closest team to that, is it still the Pirates? Or the Pirates gotten any better?
Yeah. They're actually 38 wins.
There you go. Yeah, 140 for the Athletics, I think, is the next closest there. So, what do you say?
Nothing.
What do you say?
Nothing. It's just dead time on the podcast right now. Just
Horrible.
dead time.
Horrible.
The Rockies are bad.
Yeah, not good. Anyway, we'll run through the AFC South real quick, and then we'll...
we are going to do it?
Yeah, we'll get out of here.
Oh, I was going to try to
let's
nix
just talk
that.
about it. Yeah.
That's dumb.
We have a reputation to uphold here.
Okay, well, this last season, Ryan, we've got the AFC South.
Which consists of the Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Tennessee Titans.
Correct. Houston, 10-7 a season ago. Where are they 25-26?
They're going to be right back there.
10-7.
Yep. That just feels like a 10-7 team to me. They've added some guys. They've gotten a little bit better here and there, but they've still got some obstacles to get over. But luckily, they're in a really, really bad division.
You don't think Stroud's got a couple more wins in him coming into season 3?
I mean, 10's good.
Yeah, 10's good.
That's a good amount of wins.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
They just seem like a team to me that's going to lose a couple of games here and there where you're just like, really? Like, I thought you were better. Like, anyway.
And then there's going to be a battle for 3, 4, 5. However, last season, Indianapolis 8-9, under 500.
I don't even, like, these other three teams, I don't even know how to evaluate talent for them. Well, Indianapolis is weird. Maybe they've now got to overcome, their owner just dying, which might be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how you view it. But Jacksonville, I don't even know. Who is Trevor Lawrence? Is he good? Is he bad? Is he just kind of whatever? What's the rest of that team like?
See, that's the deal. We talk about Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and Tennessee. 2 of those teams have quarterback problems. Right? Inconsistent. We don't know.
Technically,
don't really know what's going on. Jacksonville.
You could say all 3 of them do.
Well,
because
right.
we don't know who Cam Ward is.
But Jacksonville just gets. Trevor Lawrence just gets a huge deal, right? He gets a contract renewed. Last year?
Yeah.
They think he's the franchise guy.
Consistently gets a pass because nobody wants to talk about how mediocre he's been.
Yeah, Indy and Tennessee make sense why they had not so good seasons, but Jacksonville. They've got their quarterback of the future locked down.
They were 24th in pass, they're 26th in the rush, and 25th in yards gained. They're just not a good team. I don't really get it. They have Travis Hunter now. Woo.
Yep.
I guess you got a guy that can play both sides of the ball, but
somebody's got to get it there.
So.
Yep.
I think it finishes roughly the same way that it looks. Tennessee will improve. I think they'll win by 2 or 3. They had 3 wins last year. I think Cam Ward, and they'll be a little bit more energized going into the season. I think they'll snap off a few more wins here and there. Rejuvenated roster. The coach will kind of get to do what he wants to do. So
that's a really bad division.
It's not good. Is it the worst? Is it the worst in football?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Oddly, I think the NFC South is not very far off. Pretty similar. Similar makeup.
Not, but at least you have the Falcons and Tampa in there that kind of bring it up.
Well, your leader was a 10-win team.
Yeah.
Your second place was an 8-win team. And instead of 4-3, you've got 5-5.
Yeah.
So not much better.
We'll get into that next week. But,
I know.
I think
that's why we saved them for last.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. I'll say it goes Houston, Tennessee, Indianapolis, Jacksonville. I think
Wow.
Jacksonville still continues to step on their own weenies and just continue to suck. So
Okay.
that's what I'll say. I won't give you. I couldn't tell you what the records are going to be, but I think that's how it's going to go.
Somebody will win the division and come out in the wild card round, and then they will be done. There is my prediction. They will not advance.
Impressive that Houston finished with a net point differential of 0. They scored just as many points as they gave up. Huh.
Yeah. Well, that's the AFC South. Thanks for
That's
playing.
riveting stuff there.
Super.
Yeah. Just a really painful way to end the episode. Rockies, NFC South, or AFC South.
Maybe should have saved Joey Chestnut for last. Anyway,
I think next week I'll try to save this.
we're gonna.
I want to get into this. Yahoo Sports next week posted an article called "The Best 25 Draft Picks of the Last 25 Years," and so they basically break it down over when a team makes a truly great draft pick, it's often doesn't realize it. So they're talking about where the value is and how that player ended up turning out. So it's not just the Chiefs drafted Patrick Mahomes over the last 25 years, so that's one of the best draft picks. It a lot more goes into it. So where they were drafted, how their careers have turned out, so and so forth. So
Frank Schwab, senior writer.
Yeah, go Frankie. So we'll kind of dive into that a little bit, talk about it. I think it's an interesting list. A little sneak peek, just so you guys understand. Number 25 starts out with Bo Nix as being one of the 25 best draft picks in the last 25 years. So we'll give you their reasons as to why they think that and where everybody else ranks on this list. But we'll talk.
That'll be fun.
So
that'll be fun.
Other than that,
Yeah, I'm done here.
you want to wrap us up?
Nope, you're gonna.
Come on.
You're gonna, because next week I'm taking the intro and the close.
Good luck.
You just finished us out today, big fella.
Yeah. Okay.
Get her done.
Big fella.
Big fella.
You like my new hat?
Yeah. I don't, but yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's got the same little ribbon thing on it there. Okay. Cool. That's awesome.
Anywho, we appreciate you guys listening as always. Try to be here every week for you. If this is your first time listening, we'll pray for you. If for some reason you really enjoyed it, please leave us a 5-star review. Tell a friend if you think that they would enjoy listening to it as well. You can also find us on Twitter, which I'm not sure how active that account is.
Not very.
You can find us on Instagram, which is much more active. Updates, post there. You can see what the T-shirts look like. You can see what's going on with us. So you can check it out. What?
I'm gonna take a look.
Well, you haven't been on there yet?
Yeah, I have been on there. Of course,
Okay,
I've been on
yeah.
there. I'm very active.
So there'll be more stuff coming up this week as we start to, post some things and get ready to launch this episode. So follow us over there if you want all the updates. Link in the description for both of those, as well as the link to TeePublic for the T-shirts. If you like the logo, want to rep our stuff, you can find it over there. Like I said, there's one with a black lettering and one with a white lettering. So depending on what color shirt you want to choose, you can go with either one of those logos. Be a part of the show. You can email us at thearmchairauthority@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment in the comments section. We try to read those as often as we can. I should have looked this week. Let me go check it out real quick.
What are you looking for?
A comment.
Oh, I don't think we have any.
I'm gonna see if we got any. I should have done this earlier. So, I was listening to a couple other podcasts that I've listened to religiously for years, and it was one of those things where I'm like, man, they're just way better than us at this. Most recent comments. Look here. 5 days ago from Anthony and Shelby. They say, if you're in the market for watching a funny and dumb movie, check out Division 3 with Andy Dick. We'll probably end up maybe checking out that. I've never seen it. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll take a look
I think he
at
just
that.
wanted you to say the name at the end.
Andy
That's what I
Dick.
think.
Yeah. Isn't he canceled?
I don't know who it is.
Yeah. It's the guy with the glasses.
Oh, wow,
skinny
that's
little comedian guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
You really cleared that up for me.
You'd know him if you saw him. But
It's the guy with the glasses.
Yeah. So if you want to be a part of the show that way, plenty of times that people comment on certain things. So we have a whole backlog of episodes too. If you want to try and catch up, but if not, we'll just continue to pump these out weekly. We appreciate you guys listening as always, and we will try and catch you guys next week is the plan. But until then, hope you guys are safe. Have a great week.
And be better than 2%.
They know the game, but they're keeping it fun. Poking fun at the stats, they're second to none. From fantasy leagues to the locker room jokes, they got the edge no one's ever broke. They don't need a suit, they don't need a tie. Just some headphones and a crazy eye. The authority of laughs and the games they know.